Hello everyone. Here is an overview of Doenba Edit, an AI-powered online platform for academic writing. It integrates AI-assisted revision, what you see is what you get editing, and LaTeX-grade typesetting with an intuitive user experience and outline-guided workflows to comprehensively improve writing efficiency and quality. To start using Doenba Edit, sign in at doenba.ai, choose Edit and then Create to open a new article on the next screen. That screen is divided into 10 components. The first component is the title area, where you enter your article's title and author details. The second component is the outline area. The third component is the writing interface, where you compose, revise, and typeset your article. The fourth component is the editing toolbar. The fifth component is the AI editing toolbar. The sixth component is an AI-edited content area that displays AI-generated output. The seventh component is the task QA area, in which you may pose any questions, whether related or unrelated to the article's content or typesetting. The eighth component is the referencing panel, which allows you to cross-reference figures, tables, equations, and sections in the writing area, create and cite references, and specify LaTeX packages for particular typesetting features. The ninth component is the export button, which opens the export page where you can choose a pre-processed LaTeX template and export the writing area content into that template. The 10th component offers links to tutorial materials, FAQs, and an online form for additional help with users-specific questions. I'll show in this section how I begin an academic paper, including devising a title, entering author details, and creating the paper's outline. In the title area, click the boldface Untitled, enter the title you plan to use, then press Return to save it. You can also request title suggestions from Doenba by using Message Doenba in the Task QA area. For example, if I wanted to present research on readability assessment of pre-college reading materials for K-12 students using fine-tuned language models and a local search mechanism, I used the following prompt to message Doenba. Suggest a title for a research paper to report my research results on readability assessment of pre-college reading materials for K-12 students over fine-tuned language models and the local search mechanism. Doenba's initial title suggestion was a bit too long, so I asked Doenba to make it shorter. The next suggestion was much briefer but omitted local search, which is an important part of my work, so I asked Doenba to include local search. Doenba then proposed a title that included all the key components and had an appropriate length. I decided to use it. I selected the copy option, went to the title area, pasted Doenba's suggested title, and pressed Return to save it. Entering author information is straightforward. Click the Author Info button, then provide the author name, affiliation, email, and ORCID if applicable. To add more authors, click Add Author. Click Next to save the author details. Next, I'll create an outline for the paper I'm going to write. Drafting an appropriate outline can be a challenging task for an inexperienced writer. Doenba Edit simplifies this task by offering 3 options. 1. Use a default outline. 2. Automatically extract an outline from a favorite paper. And 3. Generate a custom outline section by section. To apply a default outline, click the Default Outline button, select an appropriate area, preview the outline, and click Apply if it suits your needs. I select Computer Science, preview the outline, and select Apply to adopt the default outline. The outline will then appear in the outline area in the leftmost column. Each section title is clickable. Clicking a title jumps you to that section in the writing area without affecting the other sections. To insert a new section after an existing one, click the existing section and then the plus icon. Provide the section title and optionally a section label, then click Save. If you omit a label, the system will create one automatically. Section labels appear on the referencing panel under Section for cross-referencing. To delete an existing section, click the 3 dots to the right of that section's title in the outline area and choose Delete. You can also rename the title there or directly in the writing area. To reorder sections, hover over the 6 dots to the left of a section title until a hand icon appears, then drag the section up or down to the desired position. If none of the default outlines suit your needs, you can either create your own outline section by section or use the Extract Outline feature to automatically extract an outline from a paper you prefer. To do this, click the Extract Outline button, upload the paper from your local hard drive, and click Apply to import the outline into the outline area. I'll now show how I used AI editing tools to help produce high-quality prose while composing the introduction section of a paper reporting my research on reading accessibility. I used Message Doenba to ask for a suggestion of a suitable opening paragraph. I provided a brief description of my paper and outlined my requirements using the following prompt. Please suggest an opening paragraph for the introduction section of a paper that reports research results on reading accessibility of materials for K-12 students using fine-tuned pre-trained language models and the local search algorithm. In the opening paragraph, I would like to explain why reading accessibility is an interesting research topic and outline its usefulness. I entered the prompt into the message Doenba window. Doenba returned an opening paragraph. I reviewed the paragraph and found it acceptable after minor edits. I clicked the copy icon and pasted it into the writing area. I revised the opening paragraph to better convey my work. For example, using local search is intended to improve accuracy rather than efficiency. I split that sentence into two to make them flow more naturally. During writing, I can use the refine feature to correct any grammatical errors with minimum change to my original writing. I can also use the rephrase feature to reword my sentences. For example, I highlighted the two sentences I had just revised and selected refine to fix any grammatical errors. Doenba didn't find any. I then selected rephrase and Doenba returned two alternative sentences that I preferred to the originals. I clicked the one key replacement button to apply Doenba's suggestion to the two sentences. I also removed the last sentence as it seemed a bit redundant. When using an AI editing tool, you can choose the education level of your target readers from high school through doctoral, and the tool will generate text that matches that level. You may also specify the desired length of the produced text when that option is available. After drafting a strong opening paragraph, I completed the rest of the section. While writing, content is saved automatically when pressing the return key or clicking anywhere in the right margin. If text is highlighted and refine or rephrase is chosen, those edits are saved automatically. Clicking the Save button also preserves the content. I then use the Review feature to evaluate the section's coherence and identify areas for improvement. To do so, I clicked the Review button, selected the current level, and then pressed Review. After reviewing, Doenba offered several suggestions. One pointed out a typo, which was simple to fix using the Find and Replace feature. It also recommended using a bulleted list to summarize the paper's main contributions in the dataset, which I agreed was a good idea. To simplify my work, I pasted the suggestion into the message Doenba window and turned it into a prompt with a small modification from the original suggestion as follows. Produce a brief bulleted list of the main contributions based on the text inside triple backticks. Include a concise dataset summary, for example, total text per grade and per major genre group, and how the splits were created. In the introduction, replace high-level assertions with one or two concrete numerical highlights, for example, absolute accuracy gains. These may be short and can be reiterated with more detail later. I copied the sections describing the main contributions in the dataset into triple backticks after the prompt and sent them to Doenba. Doenba returned a bulleted list. It was very useful, so I pasted Doenba's suggestions into the draft and made minor edits. The remaining two suggestions asked me to expand on the current methods and to confirm that all citations were correctly formatted. I chose to disregard them because the former will be covered in a later section, and the latter is governed by the LaTeX template used when I exported the paper. Next, I applied the Reorganize feature to improve the presentation of the current section. I clicked the Reorganize button on the toolbar, chose the length and level, and then clicked Reorganize. Doenba suggested a reorganization strategy that I really liked. To apply it, I clicked the strategy window and reviewed the pop-up's detailed guidance on what each paragraph should cover. I liked what I read, and so I selected Rewrite. Doenba returned a revised version, and I wanted to incorporate parts of it into my writing. I pasted Doenba's suggested text into the writing area beneath the original draft, so I could incorporate the suggestions one paragraph at a time. Below are my revisions for the first 3 paragraphs. I used the same process to finish writing and editing this section. In this part of the video, I will demonstrate Doenba Edit's editing and typesetting capabilities, including undo, redo, inserting inline math, figures, tables, footnotes, program code, LaTeX snippets, previews, and find and replace, adding level 2, level 3, and level 4 subsections, inserting bulleted lists, numbered lists, displayed equations and comments, applying bold, italic, and underlined formatting, cross-referencing, citation, and specification of LaTeX packages. I can click the Undo button to revert my recent keystrokes and the Redo button to reapply undone actions. I can click the Search and Replace button to locate a piece of text and replace it with another. To insert inline math at the cursor, click the Equation button on the toolbar to enter a pop-up window. Enter your math using LaTeX code, without including the math delimiters required in LaTeX. A preview appears beneath your input. If that is what you like, press Return to accept it. To add a block-displayed equation directly beneath the cursor, start a new line, press / to open the drop-down menu, choose Equation, and enter your math the same way as for inline math. Press Return to accept it. Doenba will automatically generate a label for the equation to enable cross-referencing. You can also insert a LaTeX snippet to take advantage of advanced typesetting features supported by LaTeX. For example, to typeset more advanced math, click the LaTeX icon to insert a LaTeX snippet below the cursor, which appears in its own box with a black background. Within that area, you may insert any self-contained LaTeX fragments exactly as you would in the main body of a LaTeX file. To typeset mathematics using symbols provided by the AMS Math package, click the Cross-Reference menu. Select LaTeX package. Click Add. Enter \use package AMS Math in the pop-up window and click Confirm. Click Preview to see how the LaTeX snippet looks. To insert a figure, start a new line and click the Image button on the toolbar. You have two options, Upload and Upload with LaTeX. Choosing the first option, you can enter a caption, upload a figure from your local hard drive, and preview the uploaded figure. If that is correct, click Confirm to accept it. The figure is inserted at the location of the cursor, and a label for the image is automatically generated. Choosing the second option allows you to set the figure's display size and provide some flexibility in positioning the image. After you upload a figure from your local drive, preview it and click Confirm to accept it. A LaTeX snippet will then appear in its own box with a black background. You can specify a preferred position, resize the displayed figure, and add a caption and a label. You may also change the line width from the default 80% to any desired percentage. The line width indicates a column's width and is automatically adapted to your single or double column setting. This displays a preview at 80% in both single and double column formats, while this one is at 60% in single and double column layouts. To add a table, click the table icon and select an option. There are 3 ways to insert a table. 1. Create with LaTeX. 2. Upload image. And 3. Upload image with LaTeX. Choosing Create with LaTeX inserts a LaTeX snippet beneath the cursor that contains a 2-row by 2-column table template. You can control where the table appears when printed by adjusting the placement parameters in the same way shown earlier, adjusting the number of rows and columns, filling each cell, providing a caption, and assigning a label for cross-referencing. Here is an example of a table I created for the ARA paper I'm writing. Here is the preview. Selecting the final 2 options is similar to inserting a figure, except that it places the table image in the LaTeX table environment rather than in the figure environment. Here is an example demonstrating the last option and its preview. Whenever you have a special typesetting need and you don't know how to do it, you can always message Doenba for a suggestion. For example, suppose I like to enter a passage indented on both the left and right margins, but I don't know how to do this. I enter the following prompt in the Message Doenba window. How do I enter a passage indented on both the left and right margins in LaTeX? I received 2 suggestions with accompanying LaTeX templates, the quote environment and the adjust width environment. The latter is more flexible since it allows specifying left and right margins. I opted to use the default quote environment. Here is the LaTeX snippet and how it appears when printed by clicking the preview icon. You can add a footnote at the cursor by clicking the footnote icon and then entering the content for it. Here is how it appears when printed. To insert a code snippet, click the code icon and paste the code in your preferred format. This example demonstrates a Python snippet copied from a Jupyter notebook, retaining its original line indentation and showing how it appears when printed with line numbers. To create a Level 2 subsection, start a new line, press the / key to open the drop-down menu, select Heading 2, and type a title. This title appears in black and is distinguished from the section title shown in blue. A Level 2 subsection corresponds to subsection in LaTeX. In the same way, create Level 3 and Level 4 subsections by choosing Heading 3 and Heading 4. The Heading 3 title and content are indented relative to Heading 2 content, and the heading 4 title and content are indented relative to heading 3 content. There are two methods for creating a bulleted list. 1. Use the drop-down menu by pressing the slash key on any existing content you want to convert into a bulleted item, or on a new line to start a new bullet. 2. Use the drop-down menu after highlighting text in existing content that you want to turn into a bulleted item. To create a new bulleted line after the current one, place the cursor at the desired location and press return. The entire text from the cursor to the end of the line becomes the next bulleted item. Placing the cursor at the end of the current bulleted line, and press return to start a new bulleted line with no existing content. Press Tab to create a bulleted sublist. If you press Tab anywhere inside an existing bulleted item after the first, that item is moved one indent level deeper. If you press Tab on the new bullet following the first item at the current level, you begin a new bulleted sublist. Press Tab repeatedly to create more deeply indented sublists. Press Shift plus Tab to move up to the previous level. If you press Shift plus Tab anywhere in the current bulleted item, that item is converted into a bullet at the previous level. Pressing Shift plus Tab on the new bullet at the current level likewise returns you to the previous level. You can use the same two methods for bulleted lists to create a numbered list. The quickest way to begin a top-level numbered list is to type a number, a period, and a space. You can then type your items. You can combine numbered and bulleted lists across different nesting levels. You can enter a comment at the cursor by pressing slash and choosing comment. Text entered in the comment box will not appear in the printout. You can apply bold, italic, and underline formatting to a piece of text by highlighting it and selecting the corresponding feature. You can cross-reference a figure, table, equation, or section by clicking the corresponding icon on the referencing panel, selecting the desired label, and pressing Add to insert that label at the cursor. This is a preview of the entire section, illustrating the cross-referenced figure, table, and equation. The cross-referenced section label will appear once the full paper is exported to a LaTeX template. To cite a reference, click the cross-reference menu and select Citation. If you already have an uploaded list of references, search for the one you want to cite. If the reference is not in the list, click Add to enter its details, or upload a latex.bib file. Doenba will extract the references from the .bib file for you. This provides a preview of the whole section, demonstrating the citation. Finally, I'll demonstrate how to use automation to produce an abstract, conclusion, and summary for all material in the writing area. After you have completed all sections of your paper, you can use automation to create an abstract as the first draft for you to refine. To do this, from any section, select Automation and choose Abstract. In the pop-up, you can have Doenba create an abstract with the default settings, or, if you need the abstract to address specific topics, provide those requirements to produce an alternative version. Select the draft you prefer, and it will be inserted into the outline and the writing pane. In this example, the abstract produced using the default settings did not highlight the improvements as I intended. I therefore added that requirement. Doenba produced a second abstract to address it, but that version was somewhat too long. I then asked Doenba to limit the abstract to 300 words. I preferred this revised version and decided to use it. I then asked Doenba to generate a conclusion in the same way. You can similarly generate a summary. The paper in this example was prepared for a mathematical modeling contest that required a one-page comprehensive summary, where I specified the requirements in the pop-up window to include approach to each task and the major results. Doenba produced a summary based on the full text and my instructions. I then condensed that summary into a single-page version. During editing, I turned on the auto button to generate rapid previews of my edits until I was satisfied. You can export the paper in .edi format to transfer it to a different account or to produce a submission-ready PDF, and you can also download the full set of LaTeX files. The .edi file lets you copy the paper to another computer and import it into Doenba Edit. To produce a submission-ready PDF, I clicked Export, selected the LaTeX template for COMAP math modeling, entered the paper's control number as required, and clicked Save and Continue to generate it. I then downloaded the PDF to my hard drive. This is how the PDF looks. Doenba Edit automatically saves the full content of the writing area every few minutes, adjusting the saving interval according to your input rate. A complete historical version can be restored, or parts of its content can be pasted into the current edition. Every file you create shows up in your article library as a thumbnail. You reach the article library page right after logging in, or by clicking the Doenba icon on the paper you're currently working on. On your article library page, you can import a .edi file, create a new .edi file to start a new article, or select an existing .edi file from the library to continue working on it. That wraps up the video. Thank you for watching. See you next time.